Hello friends and wine lovers and football fans. That's right, Philadelphia Super Bowl champions. Welcome back to the latest video in our series about the best red wines for beginners. In this installment, we're going to take a trip to the dark side. We're going to talk about that deep, dark red wine known as Syrah, or is it Shiraz? Stay tuned to find out. There's a bit of mystery about Syrah for several reasons. First of all, it's not as prolific as, say, a Cabernet or a Merlot. It's ranked at about the 7th most planted grape in the world at about 350,000 acres. Secondly, it's used in a lot of blends, so it doesn't always get top billing on the label. But the biggest part of the mystery could be the name Syrah. There's a popular rumor that says Syrah came from the Persian Empire about 2,000 years ago because the capital of Persia was called Shiraz at the time. And while that sounds like a pretty cool story, it's not true. The Syrah grape actually comes from the Rhone Valley in southern France, and to this day, that's where it still rules. So what then is Shiraz? It's actually the same grape, just pronounced slightly differently. When they brought this grape to Australia in the 1830s, they were using the anglicized name, Shiraz. If you throw in an Australian accent, well, you get Shiraz. So, same grape, just slightly different name, that's all. What does Syrah wine taste like? As always, it depends on where it's grown. Most often it's described as having strong black and purple fruit flavors, black raspberry, plums, blueberry, that sort of thing. French Syrah tends to be a bit more soft and herbal. Some people even say that it has somewhat of a black pepper bite to it. In Australia, Shiraz is huge, powerful, and often woody from lots of time in an oak barrel. So if you like bold reds with lots of spice, cedar, and alcohol, then this is your jam. Syrah also does something quite interesting as it ages. Author of the Wine Bible, MacNeil, describes Syrah as the kind of guy who wears cowboy boots with a tuxedo. I think what she means by that is that the wine can be very elegant and refined, but at the same time, it has these rustic and sort of animal qualities to it. Old Syrah and Shiraz can start to smell and taste like pipe tobacco, leather, and yes, even barnyard. At first, the term barnyard can seem a little off-putting, but trust me, if you grew up on or around a farm, you know what I'm talking about, and it's actually a beautiful thing. I kind of love that gamey, musky smell in Old Syrah. Where can you find good Syrah and Shiraz? Well, as you know, in France, they label their wines based on where the wine is made. So you're going to have to know something about the location in order to be able to find good Syrah. For the most Syrah in the bottle, you're going to look for wines that come from the northern part of the Rhone Valley, in particular Cote, Rotie, Saint-Joseph, and Hermitage. The real challenge in trying to get these wines is that they can be very expensive, so be prepared to buck up. If you don't mind tasting your Syrah as part of a blend, then for a lot cheaper you can buy a Cote du Rhone. This is a pretty common wine made all over the valley, and these tend to have less Syrah in them, but there's still a good entry point into the world of Syrah. But your best bet is to look to the smaller, less traditional producers of the Rhone Valley. In this case here, I found a 100% Syrah that's actually labeled on the bottle for about $15. In Australia, look to places like the Barossa Valley, Coonawarra, and the McLaren Vale regions. The great news is that Aussie Shiraz is abundant, and that makes it pretty affordable. If you have some discretionary cash and want to try something that's a bit up there, the sky's the limit, as you can see here with this very famous Aussie Shiraz that I found at my store. As with most wine grapes, Syrah and Shiraz are made all over the world now. Places like Chile, California, and even South Africa are fun examples to try and often very affordable. Food pairings are pretty straightforward. Syrah and Shiraz make bold, herbal, spicy wines. They're perfect with red meats, especially grilled, and hearty stews and chili. All right, my friends, here we are again. I'm glad to be back in the swing of things, and please do me a favor. If you like my videos, like them, offer me some comments below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. That way you'll get updates whenever I make a new video. Don't forget to check out some of the other videos in this series about the best red and white wines for beginners, and of course, all the other material that's here on the Wine Living channel. Take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.